this Bible is our resource.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So if you're destitute, you're lacking this resource. You're lacking this Bible.
And on the way over here, we were talking about how we're supposed to have our house in order, pay our bills, have everything arranged, make sure our money's where it's supposed to be, that we got food, that we got this, that we got that. We need toilet paper, we got that. We gotta have that shit.
And that's necessities right there.
We don't want to be destitute of anything, right?
Because destitute is also lacking necessities. You know?
Yeah, like that one movie, The Jungle Book. We need the bare necessities.
Oh, yeah.
We do need the bare necessities. Hey, sometimes the bare necessities is all you need, baby.
Because right here it says too, severely impoverished persons.
Damn.
See that?
Damn. We see all kinds of severely impoverished persons.
Bums. You know?
And even the people that are inside houses are severely impoverished because they don't have this truth.
Yeah. They think they're doing good, you know. They might have toilet paper and shit, but
They might have a 401k and a 401b,
shit.
a retirement and all that shit, stocks and bonds. That's nothing.
That's what destitute is, you know.
And that's what we were talking about. That's what we're talking about. Because when those bombs hit, everything's gonna be destitute. All that shit that you're storing up right now in your storage to have ready for you to use, it's gonna be gone. So we gotta put stuff that we can use in heaven, store it up, the goods in there, so that we can use them. Because the spirit will be able to go back there, but not the bodies.
Because there's gonna be times when you're gonna do work, but you're not gonna get paid, you know. But when that happens, the Most High is gonna pay you, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And He always pays you in full.
He always gives you the right amount you're supposed to get.
Man, I gotta get this right here. This is 2 Peter 2 and 5. I'm starting at 5. No, I'm gonna start at 4. For if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. So He did that to us. What do you think He's gonna do to you? Easy E, Esau, so-called Mr. White Man. And the worst part's gonna happen to you, Jake, so you're 2/3. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
The world of the ungodly. He said only spare Noah.
And that's what we're talking about, the ungodly. Hey, so there was only 8 people. 8 people in the time of Noah that were godly. 8 people plus their servants. They got saved. And the rest of the world got fucking killed. I mean, I believe it. That's amazing right there.
I mean, that's what was needed, you know, because you have to refresh. You have to get refreshed, you know.
Yeah. Because let's say this happened to me yesterday. I was working on my computer and this fucking screen froze up, and I had to hit refresh. And that shit didn't work. I had to turn this shit off and start it all over. That's what refresh means.
Yeah. That's why we have a button on our phone where it says reset, you know?
Yeah, it's this little circle like that with the arrow on it.
Yeah. We have to reset our phone sometimes. It catches glitches, you know? It gets frozen sometimes.
So when you help Hashem reset something, it's because it's too much wickedness.
Right.
Hey, he did it with the flood. And let me get this next verse right here. 2 Peter 2 and 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example that unto those that are after should live ungodly. That's twice, right? But this is the last one.
That's how Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that's how he likes to destroy, with fire. You know, there's a lot of fires going on right now. War just broke out over there on the eastern part of the world.
Hey, like the whole world's on fire, and the whole world's gonna be burning up. Man, can you imagine these motherfuckers? Like, if me and you are over here, and we're trying to save ourselves. Remember last week, only like Noah. I wish I could find that week, but let's say that Noah. It was Noah, Daniel, and someone else. That these three were in the world, but only they could save their own souls. Like, we can only save ourselves. But this time, our families are going to get saved with us. Because there's got to be a 1/3. The elect, the 144 are the ones that are going to be godly.
That brother's playing a song, No Future in the front.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be for you 2/3, and no future for you.
Because your guys are fronting right now.
Huh?
Straight up fronting.
You can't front on this truth, on this word.
And we see you, Jakes, looking at us and looking at our garments, looking at our Bibles. Well, all we got is books in here. All we got is knowledge in here. Looking at us like we're fucking weird. But didn't the scripture say? Let me read it again. 2 Peter 3:6, whereby the world that then was. We see the world that then was. We've always been doing this, man. What's so fucking new about this shit?
Now, there's nothing new. You know, because the scriptures say there's nothing new under the sun. What was then is now. What was before is something like that. It says.
2 Peter 3:6, whereby the world then was, being overflowed with water, perished. See, that's in the old. So what's going to happen again is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, so whatever happened before, it's already happening now.
Let me get this while you're doing it. 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished.
It says he knows how to do that, huh?
Straight up does. Hey, but he's also putting us through those temptations so that we can know how to be good judges.
And that's what the Lord loves to do. He loves to just hold you and just wait to kill you, you know, to keep you for reserve, you know, like he did to Pharaoh.
Shit.
You know,
That has got to be the greatest example of fucking someone up.
he just wants to, like say if an enemy's, you know, squirming around, he wants to just wait until you're nice and still, and then smack your ass, you know.
Until you're all gassed out. Well, he's the king of terrorists too.
This is that one scripture, Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. So the thing that was then, it shall be now. And that which is done is that which shall be done. So whatever was done, it's going to be done again. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's no new thing on this planet. Everything that has been done is being done again. It's just a repetition, reincarnation.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. And that good Lord is Yahweh Shai Mashiach. On Yahweh, son of Yahweh. We're seeking righteousness there now, and the whole week we're fucking catching hell. Man, we're putting the temptations, and like the scripture said right here, yanks us out of it, pulls us out of it. He programs our brains the night before when we're catching too much hell, and he knows it. It pulls us out of it. I can see how you people don't believe it. It's incredible to believe, right? How Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can just take you out of something just like that. One day you're catching hell, and then the next day everything's all right.
Because, I think the scriptures say that he doesn't give you more than you can handle. Mm-hmm. He doesn't give you more than you can take on, you know, because you might be battling, you know, some problems and stuff, but you got to stay faithful through that, because know that he's going to get you by through that, you know. But if you just give up and just be depressed about it, you know, let those demons overcome you, you know, then you're not going to escape that.
This is Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
See, so we don't wrestle. It said wrestle, right? We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, you know? We're not, you know, there's not a...
It's not a competition like you're all like this,
yeah,
shooting for a single leg.
It's all in the mind, you know?
Man, that's the hardest fucking battle, because it's in your mind. But Yahweh Shai will pull you out. You're like, man, you had enough. You throw in the towel or say you won. But the thing you don't want to do, like Amma once said, is don't give up. Don't give up.
There's so many thoughts running through our minds, right? But you got to discern those thoughts. You got to know whose thoughts are those. Is it Satan's thoughts or is it Yahweh Shai's thoughts? You know, you got to be able to discern them. Because, you know, Satan's gonna be in your mind. He's gonna be in there. So don't think, you know, you're gonna live your life without Satan, be Satan free, you know.
Satan was there for Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
He was there for Yahweh Shai all the time, man. He was just waiting. And then in the Garden of Gethsemane, after he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, when Yahweh Shai was at his weakest, Yahweh Shai was never at his weakest in the flesh, but it had to happen like this. But he's never, don't ever think like that about Yahweh. He's never at his weakest. He's at his weakest point in his flesh. Okay, so he was hungry, and the scripture says that the devil came straight up and started talking shit like a fucking bitch. If you're really the son of God, make these rocks into bread. And then he was quoting the scriptures in a fucking wicked way, like these pastors do, like these Catholic priests do. And then Yahweh Shai was doing what? Righteous. He was cutting them with the scripture. Don't tempt thy Lord.
Yeah. Yahweh Shai, he was only relying on the spiritual, not on the physical.
Man, that's why you gotta understand what this brother's saying is real. You don't give up. Don't fucking give up. I felt like giving up a couple times, but I just kept going. And you know what? Yahweh Shai doesn't let you give up. He's not gonna let you give up.
Man, yep,
He's making you do all of this shit.
yeah.
He's making people look at you, man, that guy works hard.
It reminds me, you seen Rocky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cause his trainer is Mickey, right?
Okay.
And Mickey, he tells him, he gives him a chain, you know, and it has a boxing glove, and he gives him that so that he gives him encouragement, you know. He says, whenever you're feeling down and out, you know, just think about this chain that I'm gonna give you, and it's gonna be like an angel on your shoulder, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's gonna lift you up.
That's right.
So that's, you know, that's that encouragement that we need.
Because like the scripture says, before we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities, rulers of darkness of this world. The powers and principalities could be on the dark side too. But guess what, man? How should I put those good angels on your side too? The angels, powers of the light. And he tells them, hey man, that's enough. Save them. Save them. Get them out. Show them how to.
So when you're going through problems and things like that, just know that Yahweh Shai is on your shoulder.
He's there, he's watching you. He's taking care of you. And he sends other brothers to do it. Man, you could be having a bad fucking day. And you haven't watched videos all week, but then you turn on the video for the first time that week that you're having a bad week, and that video turns your shit around. It's just what you needed to hear. I was watching Apostle Guar's video. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he put up a video where this other guy was I don't know if he's a brother, but he was probably a brother, but he was like, if you're a one-man camp and you're a lone wolf, the lone wolf one, you ever seen?
Oh yeah, the lone wolf.
The wolf that climbs the hill is hungrier than the wolf at the top.
The bargain one.
Yeah, and that was a dope video, man.
Yeah, because he played like
That encouraged me.
at the beginning he played like someone that's talking.
That encouraged me because yeah, we're a team. We're a team of prophets, but he's by himself most of the time. I'm by myself most of the time.
We're still lone wolves in the world, you know.
Sometimes I don't even text this brother. He don't even text me, but I pass by his house every day on my way to work. I'm always thinking about him, you know. But we're still lone wolves. Man, that was encouraging. That was encouraging. I was like, damn, that's good. Oh, let me get this. 2 Peter 2:7, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. We were talking about angels delivering us, like how should I pulling this out? Lot was pulled out of Sodom.
Yeah, damn. It was pulled out right before it got burned.
Man, these scriptures are talking to you, man. Smacking you in the face. How come you're not fucking going out there? Let me get a different scripture.
I want to go back to 2 Peter 3 and 7.
2 Peter 3:7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
So it's reserved unto fire against ungodly men. When I went to the definition for ungodly men, it said destitute, right? And an ungodly man is destitute, which is abandoned or lacking the scriptures, you know. And then it also says destitute of reverential awe. And I'm gonna get a definite, little example of reverential awe. This is on BibleTools.org, and it's just an example. It says a terror that causes the skin to crawl. Okay, this is just an example of this is John W. Rittenbaugh. It says Bible verses about reverential awe. Okay, so it says, a terror that causes the skin to crawl,
Dang.
the hair to stand on end, the throat to release a scream, the bowels to move.
That means taking a shit.
So this are all the things that happen when you go through reverential awe. Okay.
Hey, let me just say this about that. When you lose your bowels, in Singapore, there was an article about a man who was teaching a class about adultery, how not to commit adultery. He got caught committing adultery, so they fucking put him on the stand and whooped his ass, and reverential awe came, and guess what? He lost his bowels. Because when they fucking hit you in your butt cheeks with that whooping, they hit you fucking hard, and your muscles just give up the ghost. And whoosh, you're left in reverential awe.
That's that feeling you get in your stomach when something exciting happens. You know what they call butterflies.
And when you were little, you used to get it when bullies used to pick on you. Remember that? That's one of my favorite things to remember. I can't believe I used to get butterflies. Like worry about going to school. All these bullies would fuck me up. But guess what? He never fucked me up because I always fought back, but I was always afraid. I didn't want to fight back. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to get in trouble. But he pushed my buttons, and I ended up figuring out that he's not even that strong. All the time.
Yeah.
But it's those butterflies. Nervous. Man, being nervous. Like I could see people being nervous, and a lot of people are nervous. Everybody gets nervous. I like to make fun of that brother that was reading the Bible and he said, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
He was nervous.
It just has to deal with the nerve, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The nerve has electrical signals, you know.
Yeah.
And when something happens, that electrical signal sets off, you know, to your brain, and then your action, that's when the action happens. So it says, a terror that causes the skin to crawl, the hair to stand on end, the throat to release a scream, the bowels to move, or the body to faint or collapse on the ground in a vain attempt to disappear.
Oh, read that again, please.
It says, okay, the bowels to move, or the body to faint or collapse, groveling on the ground in a vain attempt to disappear.
Wow, that's fucking funny, man. That's funny. That's you, Esau.
Hey, but it says, on the ground in a vain attempt to disappear, as Isaiah did. Let's get Isaiah 6 and 5. You know, because this is actually what Isaiah did, because he was scared. Isaiah 6 and 1. He was scared. You know, this is how he felt. This is that reverential awe that he felt. You know.
All right, this is Isaiah 6 and 5. 6 and 1. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also Yahweh sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple.
So right there it says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw Yahweh sitting upon a throne. So he actually seen him, okay? And it says, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. When you go into the definition for train, it means the high priest's robe. You know, that's what he was wearing. He was wearing the high priest's robe, which is described in Genesis when Moses and Aaron made the garments, right? So when he saw the Lord, you know, dressed in the robe, it's gonna go on and read verse 3.
And one cried unto the other and said, Holy, holy is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
So he said, Holy, holy, holy. He said it 3 times. You know, because when he seen the Lord, he was so scared, you know, and when he see the Lord is so holy, you know, because it said that his train filled the temple. So when you went inside that temple, all you could see is the Lord and his robe, and it filled the whole temple. That's all you could see. That's the first thing that you noticed. You know, so he was so clean, so righteous.
I'm gonna get 5.
And then go on to 5.
Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts.
So this is what we were talking about earlier, about we're in the middle of wickedness, you see? And he said, woe is me. He said, destruction is me. You know, he says, I am undone because I'm a man of unclean lips. That means we're wicked, you know. And he said, and I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips.
I'm surrounded.
You know?
Like I said earlier, when like when I go do a job and I don't want to get dirty, I fucking try to stay away, but you can't.
Yeah.
Let me get verse 6. No, it doesn't talk about. Let me go somewhere else.
Go back to this shows. We read the ungodly.
And
2 Peter 3:7. So we were talking about the day that the Lord's going to burn up the ungodly.
so this is 2 Peter 3:7. But the heavens and earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
So the ungodly men are the ones who are destitute, lacking the resources of this Bible, and also the ones lacking reverential awe. You know, and that's when I was reading, it said, groveling on the ground in a vain attempt to disappear, as Isaiah did, you know, when the one we just read, because he said, woe is me, you know, right when he looked at the Lord, he said, woe is me, because he looked at something that was so clean, so holy. That's why he said holy 3 times.
Yeah, you ever looked at something? You ever looked at a fine woman and got embarrassed because she caught you? Something like that.
Yeah. Or imagine a woman looking at you and your zipper's down. You know?
Ah, shit.
That's, you know, you
Hey, she might want something, man. You might have a customer.
But you'd be embarrassed. You'd be like, oh shit.
But on this occasion, Isaiah looked on the holiness of holiness. Man, I can handle that.
Because he was like, man, he wanted to just disappear, you know?
That's hilarious, though. Because, man, he threw himself on the ground. It was like...
Yeah. Groveling on the ground.
Trying to dig into the earth to disappear. Because, that's fucking funny, man. Like a little... Because I think about a little child throwing himself down on the floor, like, fuck. Just having a bad turn. But you don't want his eyes to gaze upon you. You ever been embarrassed and shit and you don't want nobody to fucking look at you?
Yeah. You're like waiting for them to look away or whatever.
But they never look away. Well, your house shine never looks away. And I was just thinking about that earlier today in the morning when I was driving to work. I was like, can you imagine getting eaten by a shark and just keeping your eyes fucking open the whole time looking at that shark?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hi, pretty good. How you doing? Like a shark just coming up and you just looking at its eye and its eyes looking at you and you don't close your eyes because you ain't scared. Man, no, you can't do that with your house shine. You'll get scared. You can't do that with the angels. So yeah, I couldn't. I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably throw myself on the ground, and that's why I really laugh because that's what I would do.
Because when you're going through that, you're going through, you know, something that's very extreme in your mind. You know, in order to do something like that.
Hell yeah, you gotta hit all the fucking buttons, all the panic buttons at once.
You know, but
That's funny.
and it kind of sounds like Esau too. You know, when he was begging for the promise. You know?
Crying to Isaac, which is the Yahushua.
You know.
Man, check that out, man. Everything in the scripture goes back to the scriptures. So if you're a knucklehead Christian and you're reading, I don't even think they read John 3:16 anymore. They got fucked up on that one. But reading whatever scripture, you're kind of in a lackadaisical state of mind. You're like, none shall be weary or stumble. No, you don't know what they're talking about. That's why you read it like that. See, when we read it, we're like, damn, man, that's...
Yeah, because we read it with confidence. You know, because we know it's the truth. You know, we're not gonna read it like, maybe this is like this or maybe.
And that's what Christians say.
Yeah.
That's what Christians say all the time. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's this.
There's a possibility.
There's a possibility. But you're never fucking wrong.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. You know.
There ain't no way about it. It's the only way.
Our yea is yea and our nay is nay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me read it really on. It says, so talking about fear, it says, fear can be an extremely effective motivator. You see, just like some fighters say that, you know, before they go into a fight that they're scared, you know, but that fearness, it could be a motivator. You know, that's what really pumps you up. That's what really wakes you up. You know, because without that fear, you'd be all asleep and, you know, but